Hare Krishna, dear viewers. Let's seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam, Krishna Balaram, Pal Gopal, Gonitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, some devotees, and Lord Ramachandra, because we're just going through the pastimes of this incredible incarnation of the Lord. So we reached the point where Hanuman flew to Lanka in order to find Mother Sita, which he eventually did. He went to many of the palaces. He'd never seen Sita. He had been described what Sita looks like. So he was, of course, curious where she is. And he was looking, and he couldn't find Sita in any of the palaces of Ravan. He saw many ladies, and he was thinking, oh, Brahmachari shouldn't have to go through this. Anyway, he saw them half naked, or he saw them sleeping, or anyway, he knew that this is not Sita. So eventually, anyway, he found Sita in one of the gardens of the palaces in the Ashok forest. And he didn't immediately approach her because he knew she might get very disturbed if he just showed up right in front of her. So he sat on a tree and he was reciting the glories of Ram. And Mother Sita was listening, and she was thinking, wow, who is singing the glories of Ram in this crazy place? And then slowly he showed himself, he introduced himself as Hanuman. And he came in a very small form because he could increase his form as he wanted to, or he could reduce it down to very small form. And he showed Mother Sita the ring that Ramachandra had given him to convince Sita that he was a genuine person, sent by Ram himself. And she became very pleased when she saw that. She blessed Hanuman. And Hanuman offered actually to take her back to Ram immediately. But she said to Hanuman that I've never willingly touched another man, and I'm not going to do now. I'm not going to start now. So Ravan kidnapped her, but she didn't go willingly. So Hanuman, and she begged him, please go back to Ram and tell him where I am and ask him to come immediately, otherwise I will lose my life. So Hanuman said to Sita, yes, I will go back, and we will bring an army of Vanaras, monkeys. Oh, is that going to be enough? Sita Mata had some doubt, because Hanuman was very humble. He showed himself as, tiny. And he said to Sita that, yeah, it will be enough. We have very strong Vanaras, and I'm one of the weakest. He's so humble. And then he showed his size to Hanuman, to Mother Sita, huge size. Sita became very jubilant. So, and then there was, I think one of the sons of Ravan came with the army, and they spotted Hanuman. They tried to capture him. They did. He allowed himself to be captured, and they took him before the court of Ravan. And Ravan questioned Hanuman, who are you? I have been sent by Ram to rescue Sita, and now we know where she is, so we're coming to catch you, to get you. And they tried to harm Hanuman. They put his tail on fire. In fact, Hanuman defeated many sons, I think, of Ravan at this stage. He defeated the army. He showed his strength. And he said to Ravan, you can't even defeat a little monkey like me. Wait till you see the rest of the army. So he was teasing Ravan. Anyway, they put his tail on fire. And Hanuman thought, okay, you know what? I want to use this opportunity. Normally, Ramachandra may get very upset with me if I cause havoc, if I'm naughty. But here, I think he will tolerate, he will accept my naughtiness. So he decided to run all over Ayodhya, Lanka, with his tail on fire. So the fire actually, he set Lanka on fire. So this is a little bit of naughty behavior by Hanuman. But he showed Ravan that we are not to be messed about with. The only house that was spared was Vibhishan's house, because Vibhishan, who is the younger brother of Ravan, was a devotee of the Lord. And he was such an amazing devotee of Ram that he, in his home, had wallpapered it Rama. So everywhere he would just see the name of Ram. Such a great devotee. And then one time, Ravan came to visit the home of Vibhishan, and he saw the wall was covered with Rama. So he questioned Vibhishan, why have you got the name of my enemy on your wall? And Vibhishan was so clever. He said, no. This is not referring to Ram. It's referring to you. Ra means Ravan and Ma means Mandodari. So Ravan became very pleased, and he ordered his soldiers, have this wallpaper put in all of the houses throughout Lanka. So he tricked him. Vibhishan tricked Ravan. Anyway, later, this is Angad later on. This is much later on. Oh, okay. So Hanuman went back to Ram, telling him where Sita was, and they went back. They went to the ocean, and Angad was sent as the peace messenger, Shanti Dud. And Angad was the smallest of all the monkeys. He was the son of Vali, I believe. But they also mistreated him. And Angad said, look, no problem, you can mistreat me. Try to even lift my left toe from the ground. And they couldn't even do that. So he said, well, if you can't even lift my left toe, and I'm the smallest monkey, what chance have you got against the rest of the army that we have? So then Angad came back. He told Ram that there's no question of peace. Ramachandra worshipped Lord Shiva. This is really incredible. Shiva worships Lord Ram. He's always chanting the name of Ram. He loves Ram. But here we see an incident where Ram is worshipping Shiva. So sometimes this becomes a little bit bewildering to many devotees. And they begin to think that Shiva is the supreme because Ram worshipped him. No, it's not that. Actually, there's not that much difference between Ram and Shiva. But when Ram wants to touch this world, he becomes Shiva. And Shiva is described to be the greatest devotee, greatest Vaishnava. So why is Ram worshipping Shiva? Because the Lord loves to reciprocate with his devotees. When he sees his devotee worshipping him, the Lord also feels like worshipping that devotee. And the greatest worshipper of Ram is Shiva. So when the opportunity comes, the Lord would also worship his devotee. And one of the reasons why he worshipped him was because Ravan had taken shelter of Shiva. He was a Shiv Bhakta, first and foremost. So before destroying the Shiv Bhakta, Lord Ramachandra observed the etiquette of asking the permission of Shiva. I will be fighting with your devotee and I will defeat him with your blessings. So they worshipped Shivling on the ocean. And then they wanted to cross the ocean, but the ocean was very turbulent. And patiently the Lord waited for the ocean to become calm. But when the ocean didn't, the Lord strung an arrow, or was about to string an arrow to punish the ocean. But at that time, Varundev came, or the ocean personified came and begged for forgiveness and said, yes, no, we will help you. I am sorry, I was arrogant, not understanding your divine position. And then they built this phenomenal bridge of stones and rocks. On each stone, they would write the name of Ram, place those stones on the ocean water, and they would float. And one time, Ram took a rock, and he didn't write the name of his name on it because he is Ram, and he put it on the ocean water, and it sank. And Lord Ramachandra was a little embarrassed, but Hanuman saw, and he said to, okay, and he said that's fine, don't worry. There. Yeah, he said to Lord Ram that your name, it won't work if you don't write your name on the stone, because your name is more powerful even than you, which is quite incredible. And Lord Ramachandra also showed his great compassion. There was a squirrel who was putting little pebbles on the bridge, and Hanuman said to the squirrel, just step out of the way, young man, young squirrel. I'm taking some big rocks and I don't want to step on you. But Ramachandra, when he saw that, he detected a little bit of pride in Hanuman. And he said to Hanuman, no, Hanuman, that squirrel is doing as much service as you are doing. His rock may be small, but he is putting his full effort in that seva. And his service is as important to me as your seva. So this is phenomenal. This is the Lord. He doesn't look at how much, he looks at how nicely we're doing it. Quality of seva, not necessarily quantity. So then, and also, actually the squirrel's contribution was huge because the little pebbles were needed to cover the gaps in the stones. So in this way, Lord Ramachandra showed great compassion. And I believe he he touched the squirrel and made the marks which the squirrels have. Not so much here in the UK, but in Bharat they do. And apparently NASA has seen a path between a bridge underwater now between Bharat and Sri Lanka. And these stones are still there, which float. We were fortunate to go one time and pick up this huge stone, which we put on some water here, and it floated. At that time, actually, Vibhishan came. Ravan had thrown Vibhishan out of the kingdom. And he came to take shelter of Ram. And as Vibhishan was approaching, he asked the opinion of Sugriv and the other monkeys, Vanras, Hanuman. What should we do? Should we accept him? Who is this demon who's coming? And Sugriv said, no, we should not. We should. He's the brother of Ravan. We should kill him immediately. But Hanuman had the experience that this Vibhishan, he's actually a devotee of the Lord when he came before to Lanka. And Ram also said, even if a demon comes and takes shelter, even once, I am obliged to protect. So immediately Vibhishan was accepted by Ram, and he gave him shelter. And then they crossed. I love this picture. There's Jambavan. That's Jambavan there. That must be Sugriv or Hanuman. And Ram, Lakshman, amazing army, crossed into Lanka, where they fought for 9 days, 9 nights. And it was a tremendous fight. The Lord enjoyed the fight. Many things happened. At one point, both Ram and Lakshman, they were defeated at one point by some magical arrows, and Garud came one time to rescue them. Another time, some herbs were needed, which Hanuman then went to the Himalayas and brought the whole mountain with him to rescue Lakshman. So really phenomenal. Now here it is. Phenomenal pastimes by Hanuman in the service of Ram and Lakshman. So many things happened. Eventually, Ram defeated Ravan by shooting a magical arrow into the navel of the demon. And it was a magical fight. So every year, the Dasera time, the figure of Ravan is burnt. And then Mother Sita was brought into the arena before Ram, but Ram insisted that she should pass the test of fire to show her purity. And Lakshman really didn't like that idea, because Ram asked him to make the fire, build the pyre. And Lakshman, he was really upset by doing that. And eventually Lakshman decided, I'm not coming back as the younger brother of the Lord next time. I'm coming as the older brother, so that I don't have to obey him all the time. Yes, Nariman.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Where did this happen? Is it Sita had to go through this fire test? Where did it happen?
In Lanka itself.
In Lanka itself, okay.
Yeah, in Lanka itself.
Before she was brought to Ayodhya.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And this is when Maya Sita changed into the spiritual Sita.
Absolutely right. This is when Agnidev brought back the real Sita and took away the Maya Sita. Yeah, that's correct. Very good, Nariman. So there was a reason why this fire had to, she had to go through the fire test. Of course, Sita is always pure. There's no question about it. And Lord Ram knows that. No question of that. But the real Sita, Ram would not go with the Maya Sita. He would go only with the real Sita. And then, of course, they returned back to Ayodhya, which is celebrated as Diwali, a very famous festival, most magnificent festival of light. And they came back on this fantastic Hans Viman, very, very nice, beautiful. It had the potency that it could become as big as one wanted. And it fitted the whole of the army, Vandra army, and their wives. Because when they were bringing Mother Sita back, or when they were coming back to Ayodhya, Lord Ram was showing the pastime where they went. This is where I met Sugriv. This is where I did this and that. And Mother Sita said, why can't the wives of the Vandras come as well? So they also brought the wives of the Vandras with them. Vandras came, wives came as well. It was a massive reunion. And big reunion at the end. Sita Mata, Lakshman, Ram came back. And the first person that Ram went to pay obeisances to was Mother Kaikai. He didn't even go first to his own mother. He went to Mother KK. This shows the magnanimity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The person who was the reason why he was sent to the forest was the one he went to pay respects to first. Great humility. And Bharat, Shatrughan, they were waiting. Bharat had vowed, if you're even a minute late, I will end my life. So, but Ram also was a little concerned. He sent, I think it was Hanuman before. Say? Yeah. He sent Hanuman to check if Bharat had any attachment for the kingdom. He wouldn't return. Ram would let Bharat remain the king if he wanted to be. But Bharat was still staying outside of the kingdom, waiting for Ram, counting the days, counting the minutes, counting the seconds. And Hanuman really appreciated the devotion that Bharat showed for his elder brother Ram. So he returned, and then they were made king and queen, and they ruled for, I think, 10,000 odd years. And of course, there was other things that took place afterwards. Mother Sita was eventually taken back to the forest, because of rumors flying around in the kingdom, and Lord Ramachandra showed the ultimate sacrifice, as did Mother Sita, of becoming separated. And it wasn't that Ram wanted to, but for the sake of the kingdom, he did. And otherwise, he would have taken another wife. Because when they were doing yagyas, the priest would say, you can't sit on your own. You have to have a wife, get married. And he said, no, I've taken a vow, one wife. So they made a murti of Sita, and the murti of Sita would be seated next to Ram. So this is quite amazing. And it wasn't that she was thrown away into the unknown place. She was still within the kingdom of Ayodhya and at the place of Valmiki's ashram. So very important place where she brought up his sons, Love and Kush, who later returned to the kingdom to rule it after Ramachandra left for the spiritual world. And this is one of the most amazing pictures. Whoever has painted this, really blessed person. And here we have even more devotees, even Lord Shiva. Ganpati is there. The demigods came, Narad Muni, Lord Brahma, so many great personalities at the coronation of the king. So, any questions, any comments? Okay, thank you so much. Ramachandra Bhagwan ki jai.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, can I sing a song on Lord Ram?
Okay, go on then. I'll keep recording. I tell you what. Let's stop.